Yo, what's up everybody, it's your boy, Obvious Void, coming in with part 4 to What If Naruto Was Doma. So, where we left off last time, we left off with Naruto and Jiraiya searching off for Tsunade to become the official 5th Hokage of Konoha, and also with Sasuke ingesting some of Naruto's blood, becoming a demon himself. So before we actually get into it, I'd ask if you guys could hit that like button and subscribe button. So yeah, let's just get right into it. With Naruto and Jiraiya going off to search for Tsunade, Jiraiya wants to teach Naruto one of a famous jutsu that was made famous by his father, which is the Rasengan. Again, like the original, he would be able to, well, not unlike the original, he would be able to, I think I talked about this in the last part, be able to simply watch Jiraiya perform the Rasengan, and after 20 times be able to completely master it. We'll skip towards where Tsunade and Orochimaru is still alive, just like in the original, but with his hands being taken away from the Death Reaper seal from Hiruzen, would be now asking Tsunade to help and heal his hands, and if he does do this, he will revive her loved ones, that being Dan and Kawaki. With Tsunade not actually wanting to see Dan and Kawaki, but not wanting to heal Orochimaru's hands, would ask what he will do when she heals him, in which he would say that he would go and attack Konoha, destroying it for once and for all, like he tried to do before, but was stopped by their sensei, that being Hiruzen. Tsunade not wanting Orochimaru to go and destroy the leaf, would try to attack him, but the same thing would happen with not Kabuto, because I'm pretty sure he's... No, I think... Did I leave Kabuto alive? Anyway, I'll rate kind of Kabuto's dead anyway, so Kabuto would just be alive, you know. With Kabuto then showing some of his blood, which will act in the trauma thing for Tsunade, in which she will then freeze up, and Orochimaru and Kabuto would leave, with Orochimaru telling Tsunade that in 3 days, in a week's time from now, that if she doesn't agree, then, you know, they won't do the deal with reviving her loved ones. With Tsunade and her assistant Shizune then going back to some dinner at a bar, Naruto, as well as Jiraiya, would still be on their way, running later than this time. Instead of canon, with them meeting up now, they went Jiraiya and Naruto will actually still be in one of the near the type of village, with Naruto going into the apartment building, basically just relaxing, as Jiraiya was getting stripped away from all the beautiful women that were put under a genjutsu by Itachi. Naruto, who is still in the room that Jiraiya had paid for, gets a knock on the door. With Naruto being an excellent sensor, he would be able to see that it's both Itachi and Kisame, and would recognize that Itachi's chakra is somewhat similar to Sasuke's, and from what we know as Muzan, who is the original demon from Demon Slayer, he's able to project his thoughts through his mind, so basically he can talk to whoever's a demon and basically communicate like that. So Naruto, who is kind of like the first type of demon but with Doma's abilities and personality, would in fact call Sasuke, who's in the village, and tell him that Itachi is here, and that if he wants to kill him, that he can do it here, as he is a demon, he'll be much stronger and would easily be able to defeat and devour his brother. With that being said, Sasuke, who has now heard of this, would immediately leave the village, running towards where Naruto is, as he had told them where exactly their location is. With Naruto opening the door, smiling to both Itachi and Kisame, he would welcome them in. With Kisame not wanting to really get into a type of situation, would just tell Itachi if he can break his legs or cut his legs off so that he can't run away. Naruto, who doesn't really want this, he doesn't really mind it, as he just doesn't care, would allow when Kisame tries to sweep and cut off Naruto's legs. With Kisame actually doing it, as we know from Doma's personality, he doesn't tend to really dodge anything, like with Akaza and Doma when they went in the meeting. So Naruto would just allow Kisame to chop his legs off and be thrown into the wall. Naruto, who is kind of buying for time until Sasuke gets there, would just heal his legs, with his legs immediately being healed in a split second, showcasing his amazing regenerative abilities, which would catch both Itachi and Kisame off guard, as Kisame, as well as Itachi, didn't think that Naruto's healing capabilities was that strong, or that the Kyuubi could heal Naruto's legs that fast, and think that it's some sort of natural kick Genkai or some of the sort, or it might have to do with Naruto's Uzumaki heritage being absolutely doubled or like tripled because of the Kyuubi's interference. With that being said, Naruto would just release his fans, showcasing his with the ice starting to form around them. Naruto would then use one of his demon blood arts, which would be the what do you call it? The cold white princesses, but would only summon one of the little ice clones, which was, you know, pretty small, and that would go off to fight Kisame, as Naruto just watches and smiles as Kisame is basically fighting on a one-on-one with a little mini kid clone of Naruto, and would in fact be losing, as that little clone is able to use the demon blood art lotus vines, and being able to trap Kisame in these lotus ice vines, as well as using freezing clouds to freeze the area around him. Naruto, because of him being able to control everything with his demon blood art, when he releases the freezing clouds technique, the type of particles, he wouldn't allow them to go into Itachi's system to kill him. Instead, with Kisame, with the ice particles going into Kisame and him breathing them in, Kisame would notice that his sword, I honestly forgot its name, anyway, it doesn't really matter, is reacting pretty harshly to these conditions, with it trying to absorb this chakra, but because it's like a demonic chakra, and far exceeding that of a Biju's chakra, as it is his chakra, which is demonic chakra, mixed in with the Kyuubi's chakra. With this sword, jeez man, I can't even remember the sword's name, it doesn't really matter, is reacting really strangely to this. He likes the taste, but it's finding it hard to digest it all. Kisame would start to notice that his organs, as well as his actual body, is starting to melt from the inside, which he knows is a bad thing. With Sasuke now coming into the situation, Sasuke would burst through the doors in the hallway and would confront with Itachi. Itachi, seeing that Sasuke seems to be very strong, and outrageously so, that his power maybe actually contest with his, as he is right now. Sasuke would activate his Sharingan, as well as activating the curse mark, which in fact, because of his demonic body, would have absorbed the curse mark, basically making all that power his own, and not having any interference from Orochimaru through this fight. With Sasuke and Itachi then going at it, Sasuke's demon blood art, I've decided, there was a comment saying that they wanted to be like Genya's, but I thought that wouldn't make any sense, as there aren't any there aren't any other demons except for Naruto or Sasuke, so you can't really eat any other demons to gain his power. So I'll just make it so it is like the 6th upper rank, the second one, not those two people, forgot the name, but it'll be a lightning style type of demon blood art. The type of descriptions of these techniques would be he has absolute type of control over lightning, being able to coat his body in a lightning chakra cloak, just like what the Hokage does, as well as being able to easily use his Chidori, as well as like Chidori stream and all of that, with little to no chakra type of interference with it, as it is a demon blood art. So basically, yeah, so he also has like Kirin and stuff. He is just full master of lightning style and all these lightning type of jutsus, but because it's his blood demon art, so it's kind of overpowered. A fight would not happen with Itachi and Sasuke, but Sasuke immediately, as well as having his curse mark Sharingan, as well as coating his body in a lightning cloak, would immediately start to blitz Itachi with anything that Itachi does to hurt Sasuke. Any cuts, any stab wounds, anything would immediately heal as Sasuke, who has still had just quite a bit of Naruto's blood to become a demon, as well as like Naruto's type of subordinate type of situation, but it isn't type of that, it's because Naruto doesn't really think of anyone as subordinates or, friends. I guess Sasuke would kind of be like a subordinate type of situation, but he wouldn't really order him to do anything. He kind of do his own thing. But because he does ingest a lot of blood, his regeneration would be on another tier list. Not as strong as Naruto's, but it would be on the ranks of, the upper rank 1, which is Kokushibo. It's that type of situation where you can heal almost instantaneously, but still, with this fight happening, Itachi, who is really drained in stamina, as he doesn't have a lot of stamina in these long duration fights, Itachi would in fact lose in the situation, with Itachi having to bring out his Susanoo, as well as his that impenetrable shield and the Totsuka blade. That's how you say it. I think it's how you say it, actually. I don't remember the name, but it's the sealing thing. He would have to bring out that, with Sasuke, who doesn't really care about all the citizens in the thing, would release a Kirin Jutsu with a massive lightning dragon coming down on Itachi, with Itachi now becoming nearly immediately blind after using his Susanoo, as well as his Mangekyo Sharingan for so long, would in fact become blind at this point and would lose to Sasuke, with Sasuke now winning the fight, killing his brother, with basically him revenging the whole Uchiha clan. And Naruto, who has now also killed Kisame, as his body cannot regenerate from any of the chakra that he has siphoned off Naruto, as his entire organs as well as his body is just melting and freezing off. Naruto would then begin to consume Kisame, ingesting everything, including his sword. I forgot his name though, so he has all those type of abilities now. Sasuke, who is now watching Naruto eat, would also think that he should probably eat his brother, as his brother must be very nutritious, as he was very strong, even if he is a human. So Naruto would start to eat his brother, absorbing it, learning new things about his body and how he can easily absorb humans as well as nearly anything into his body with relative ease. Naruto shows Sasuke how to do it with fast succession, and because Sasuke is an absolute prodigy in everything, not as much as Naruto, but would immediately see, and as well as because demons have the type of precognition of how to do certain things that a demon does, he'll be able to absorb Itachi. With now the Akatsuki now 2 people down, Jiraiya would hit into the picture and would see both Naruto and Sasuke there. I would wonder what the hell happened, why this building is destroyed. Naruto would say that Itachi and Kisame, 2 of the Akatsuki members, as when a demon eats another person, they can go through their memories. And Naruto would tell Jiraiya this information. Jiraiya would ask Naruto how he got this information, and he would say that he asked both Itachi and Kisame. With Naruto saying that, Jiraiya would kind of buy it, as he knows that Naruto is like super duper strong at this point, and he would ask what Sasuke is doing here. Sasuke would tell Jiraiya that he heard from Kakashi overhearing what they were talking about with Itachi coming to the village, and said that he found out that Itachi and Kisame were coming for Naruto, and immediately came here to help kill Itachi as well as kind of save Naruto. With Jiraiya asking what happened to the 2 Akatsuki members, Sasuke said that he killed Itachi, but before Sasuke could say that Kisame is dead, Naruto would say that Kisame survived the battle and took Itachi's body somewhere else, and we couldn't stop them in time. Naruto, sensing that he doesn't want Jiraiya to know any of the real situations that happened, would say that that's exactly what happened. With Guy now coming in and attacking Jiraiya, thinking that he may be an enemy, Jiraiya would tell Guy that that's not what is happening, and Guy would take Sasuke back to the village with Naruto through through his mind talking to Sasuke, would say that to become stronger you just have to eat more people, and he would tell Sasuke that women, preferably young women, are very nutritious and that would make you stronger very quickly. Sasuke, who still does have some of his humanity but not like a lot, would say that he's fine, he'll just eat whoever he wants to if he's hungry. It's kind of like the situation with like Kokushibo, where he just wants to get really strong no matter the cost, but he won't become like a full-on like psychopath, and what Naruto is. Sasuke would during all this time would find out that Naruto is empathetic towards anything. He doesn't really care for anything other than his meals. With Jiraiya and Naruto now leaving that little section of that little town, would go off as they had got information that Tsunade a giant snake had attacked the castle where Tsunade and Orochimaru fought. Now with Tsunade and her assistant Shizune, with them in the bar, the same thing would happen with Jiraiya and Naruto going into the bar after investigating the castle, and would find both Tsunade and Shizune eating dinner at the bar. With now the same situation happening in the original, with Naruto, with Jiraiya asking Tsunade to be the 5th Hokage, Naruto wouldn't intercept in anything, as he doesn't really care about the situation, but is still smiling and kind of egging Tsunade on, saying that this is a really cool thing for her to do, and that he wants to become Hokage. But in reality, he doesn't really care about this, and is just putting on this front to showcase that he, does have emotions, but he doesn't in reality. With Naruto not asking Tsunade to fight, and with Tsunade rejecting the offer, Jiraiya would pull out one of the cards which the council had agreed on, that if Tsunade does become the 5th Hokage of Konoha, they will pay off all her debts that she has right now. Tsunade says, "Oh hell yeah, let's just do that," because she's running away from one of the debt collectors. As you know, she is the legendary sucker out of the three. Oh my god, I've forgotten the name now. That's crazy. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. Tsunade, who has now agreed to become the 5th Hokage, not through Naruto's means or anything, would tell that Orochimaru had come, Sani, that's what it's called, that Orochimaru had tried to persuade her, saying that they would revive her lover and her brother, Dan and Kawaki, and they would devise a plan to, kill Orochimaru, as Orochimaru did say to Tsunade that he will destroy Konoha when his hands are healed. With now the same type of mishap happening with Tsunade and not Jiraiya, with Orochimaru, with the fake healing and Kabuto stopping it. Instead of just the fight with Tsunade and Orochimaru, Jiraiya would pull up, as well as Naruto and Shizune, and Jiraiya, who's not weakened from any of the poison that Tsunade put in his drink or anything. It would basically be Jiraiya, who's as powerful as he is, and Tsunade, who's still mega powerful. Jiraiya would summon his big toads, and Kabuto would summon the giant snakes, and Jiraiya and Orochimaru, who doesn't have any hands, that work, they would fight, with Tsunade fighting Kabuto. Kabuto is telling Tsunade, as well as Naruto, that his skill and techniques and stuff is on parallel with Kakashi, and the fight would now happen with Tsunade and Kabuto. Kabuto would use his knowing of Tsunade's weakness, which is her PTSD of blood, and would cut himself, showing blood, which would freeze Tsunade in her place. Naruto, seeing this, doesn't really find anything appealing about the situation. He kind of just wants to get this over with, as everything here is kind of boring and doesn't really please him in any way, and would go forward and stop Kabuto, cutting off his arms. One of his arms, With Kabuto now missing an arm, he would freak out, saying, "What the hell just happened?" And Naruto, with his fan, he would showcase that there's blood on the fan, and he would start to lick the blood, saying that it doesn't matter if you're on par with Kakashi, as he already beat Kakashi in the bell test. Kabuto, who's fearing for his own life, would try to run away and would reverse summon himself, as he does, have that snake contra stuff. With Kabuto now reverse summoning himself out of there, Orochimaru would see that Kabuto has left him and Jiraiya is about to, end him. Jiraiya would then, squash Orochimaru, and Orochimaru would die from Jiraiya's, with Gamabunta there as well as, he has access to imperfect sage mode. There's no way that Orochimaru would win this fight. So Orochimaru would die, that body would die, and he would probably, come out from some other random body from one of his subordinates' curse marks, and he would come out that way and go into a new body, but he still won't have access to his hands. I'm pretty sure he won't have access to his hands anyway. So that's with the Tsunade arc coming to an end. Tsunade and Jiraiya, Tsunade, Shizune, and Naruto would head back to the village, and Tsunade would officially become the 5th Hokage of the village. With Jiraiya wanting to take Naruto out the village, as he has gotten some information that the Akatsuki, they're hitting up the Jinchuriki all around the world, and that they're now aiming for Naruto, as he is a Jinchuriki, would tell Tsunade that he wants to take Naruto on a training trip. Sasuke in this situation wouldn't be with Orochimaru, so he wouldn't go off with Orochimaru, as Orochimaru is didn't really get all the situation with Sasuke. So, that's kind of fine. Orochimaru would still want to get Sasuke's body, so we'll go into that during this time skip. With Naruto, he doesn't really want to go on this training trip, but, he's got nothing better to do. And on this training trip, he could meet some very young, tasty meals, namely just the females of the world, and would agree to go with Jiraiya, as Jiraiya wouldn't probably, he would train him, but he wouldn't be really training him much, as Naruto is he's even stronger than Jiraiya at this point, but, Jiraiya doesn't know this, so he's just kind of holding back this entire time, kind of playing with people, as, Doma would do back in Demon Slayer. During this 3-month time skip, or 2.5 years, or whatever you really care, Orochimaru's little goons would try to get Sasuke. Sasuke would, commune through his mind and stuff with Naruto, saying that he's gonna leave the village, as he wants to go with Orochimaru, as Orochimaru could probably teach him some cool ass things. And Naruto, who doesn't really care, says, go do whatever you want. I don't really care, it's pretty cool though. You're gonna get stronger. And Sasuke would desert the village, now becoming a missing nin, and would go towards with Orochimaru. Orochimaru, during this time as well with Sasuke, would train him to become his next vessel, thinking that Sasuke is still, being manipulated by this curse mark, and then he is in the palm of his hand. On the other hand, he's completely absorbed this mark, so all that power that was given to him is now just his, to control fully, as well as his demonic body. Orochimaru would find out that he does have immense healing, and would put that up to something to do with the curse mark, or his Uchiha development being a prodigy, or just some random ass thing. So it doesn't really matter. He would still get pumped through of drugs, but those drugs that Orochimaru does give him would just get absorbed into his body to make Sasuke even stronger. Also, during this training trip with Naruto, we'll go back to him. Naruto during this time would just, be lazing around at this point, as nothing's really strengthening him at all, as he's already just so strong at this point. He's been able now to absorb the full 9 tails during this 2.5 year time skip, so he's now basically having the full strength 9 tails, KCM type of situation. With Jiraiya, he would ask Jiraiya, as he had seen Jiraiya use the imperfect sage mode, to teach him how to use this sage mode, as Jiraiya calls it. And Jiraiya, who was saying that Naruto, he can learn it if he wants, would go to reverse summon him and Naruto towards the land of the toads. Naruto during this time would immediately be able to learn Sage Mode, being able to perfect Sage Mode, and because, you know, demonic body and such, be able to absorb naturally all the nature energy he wants. Basically having perfect Sage Mode constantly without any of the, like, you know, marks that he has around his eyes or anything like that. So he's just he's even stronger now. He's just like, you know, he's an absolute monster at this point. No one, not even like, nobody in the world could contest Naruto's power at this point. Not even Madara Uchiha in his prime, as well as... Oh my god, I've forgotten his name. Oh, how have I forgotten his name? That's crazy. Anyway, doesn't even matter. We'll now skip to Shippuden. During this time, Sasuke has returned to the village, as he is now full of just killed Orochimaru. During this time, using his demon blood art, he would be able to electrocute Orochimaru, or just, you know, sending lightning towards him, just completely killing him. And Kabuto would go off someplace, taking Orochimaru's body to do his, like, you know, that Kabuto research thing where he became Orochimaru himself. Anyway, it's kind of weird. Anyway, we'll go on to the Akatsuki and what they're doing. The Akatsuki, namely Obito as well as Zetsu. Zetsu would have told Obito of Kisame as well as Itachi's deaths to the hands of both Naruto and Sasuke. And now, with them being down 2 members, they were just, you know, recruit some random fodder ninjas. With them going off to find and capture the newly reformed Shikaku, who has reformed in the Sand Village, that would go off with, that would just, you know, go off without a hitch, as they don't need to go get the, they don't need to go and kidnap the 5th Kazekage, as at this time, because of all 3 of the deaths of the Kazekage children, there is actually, with the Kazekage, it is a, it's a mantle that's always taken by the child of the Kazekage, so that's namely why Gaara was put into the Kazekage position. With Gaara dead, Tamari dead, as well as the other brother, I forgot his name, it doesn't matter though. There would be no actual heir to the Kazekage title, and some random as strong as ninja in that village would probably take the mantle of the 5th Kazekage. And with the Kazekage not being able to really handle Shikaku, they would kind of just leave him. And when the Akatsuki coming, the Akatsuki, which would be Deidara as well as Sasori, but then they'll be able to take Shikaku down, and, you know, they would go and absorb the One Tails. During this time as well, all the other type of Biju, except for the, you know, the 8 and 9 tails, would have been absorbed into the Gedamazo, and, you know, that whole situation would happen. With the Tenji Bridge reconnaissance mission, with Team 7, that being with Sasuke coming back to the village, because there wasn't, like, you know, any retrieval arc, Sasuke would be fitted for his crimes, but with Naruto pleading, saying that Sasuke was being emotionally manipulated from the curse mark, and because of Sasuke's full-on killing of Orochimaru, with Orochimaru not being able to come back to life at this point, to be taken off his crimes, and he would become a ninja once again, becoming now the full heir to the Uchiha clan. And he would get a seat at the council, being now being promoted to a Jonin, with his coming back to the village. So he would have his seat as the head of the Uchiha clan in the council. Naruto, when he comes back to the village, you know, all that stuff is happening the same. With the Tenji Bridge, that wouldn't really happen, or it would happen with that situation, with Sasori's, you know, coming back and telling about the informant for the Akatsuki, and they would meet up with Kabuto, who would see Naruto, and with seeing Naruto, he would get PTSD of the time that he immediately nearly one-shot this guy, and he was kind of just toying around him with the fight, and it would immediately reverse summon himself out of that situation, retreating back to full-on complete his experiments with his body and Orochimaru's to become the perfect type of sage master. So this is where I'll leave it off, everyone. So I hope you guys enjoyed this series so far. Make sure to hit that like button and that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys later.